Go ahead and call the Budget Committee to order. We do have minutes from April the 7th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any concerns or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Mr. Chairman, would it be okay if Tammy Smith goes ahead and goes? I think she's got another engagement.
Sure, yes.
Tammy? Yeah, be fine. I'm sorry, I got stuff in the way.
You're leaving their name.
Okay, I guess, I don't know what you're looking at, but the numbers are status quo, so I'm not asking for any money. I just moved money around and in the employee lines, and I wanted to explain why I did that.
Hold on a minute. I will
There you
tell
go.
The numbers are not, the pages are not numbered, so I apologize for that.
Thank you for that.
2, 3, 4, she's 5, 6, she's 6 page.
There she is.
Yeah, sorry about that.
6.
Are you waiting on me? Okay. So I'm changed money from the assistant. I took out $41,000 and put into deputies because I came into the county 10 years ago, 11 years ago, and I was a certified administrator from another county. And so I don't expect to ever be able to hire somebody like that. I've looked, they're not out there. So I put it into deputies, so that would give me a little more flexibility to hire more people. We're sitting with 2 full-time people right now, myself and then a part-timer. So that's why I put it into the deputy line, so that I could hire some people. I took out some money from overtime and put it into the other salaries and wages because that's where it needs to be. So I cleaned up the budget a little bit to put it in the lines where it needs to be and where it's going to be designated and used going forward. Not asking for any money, just move the money to where it needs to be and where it's going to be accountable.
And I just asked Tammy to come explain it because we don't move money in payroll without your permission, into, out of, or between positions, so.
Okay. Any questions?
So is this enough to hire an additional deputy?
Yes. So if you look, deputy line, I've got 141. Right now, I only have 2 deputies. So I have money to hire, plus the assistant is not filled either. So that gives me, I have lots of money to be able to hire someone right now, or 2 or 3 people actually, which we do need a couple. I'm not sure how many we need. We do really well with the staff that we have. I have 2 really good full-time people. So I don't expect to hire a lot of people. I don't really need them. So, but we're okay with money right now. Yes.
On your totals, it says 866 versus 846. Does that mean you're reducing your budget by that much?
Well, you got to factor in there the payout for the previous administrator of elections.
Okay,
his
so
crew.
that's where it comes out
That's
of.
the difference.
So it's really not reduction.
Correct.
It's just
Correct.
Any other questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thanks.
We just got word today that the books are closed by the trustee for April, so having not had a chance to put revenue in, I don't have a finance report for you. We do have the fund balance report. I can tell you, if I haven't already, if I have, I apologize for repeating myself. All the American Rescue Plan expenditures have been submitted to the film group, and they have all been approved, for lack of a better term. They don't have the authority to approve, but they've been given their blessing, so to speak. So at any point that we're ready, this $3,750,000 that we spent out of the general fund for the radio system upgrade can be reimbursed by Fund 127, which is the American Rescue Plan Fund. So if you guys would give me permission, I didn't prepare a budget amendment for it, but a budget amendment to spend $3,750,000 out of the American Rescue Plan Fund to reimburse the general fund, if y'all will give me that permission.
300, how much?
$3,750,000.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to use funds to refund for the radios. Any other questions, concerns?
And I will say this, we've been busy a little bit, and so I will have this coming month, the rest of that ARP request to bring before you with an explanation at a work session with the Budget Committee. And we'll take as many of those as we need for the people like the water. We'll kind of break it down and do it in small groups. That way you can kind of look at those and analyze those. And then when you get ready to move on those, you can. But I'll bring all
When
the
are we
team.
supposed to receive that second round of funds?
June something. I'll
Yeah.
bring that to you too. Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing is,
Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
Any other questions? All in favor say aye. Any opposed?
Budget amendment request for that
I will.
tomorrow?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
The other thing that you have in your packet is the status quo budget request. Is the budget calendar that was sent out said is that we would have it all consolidated. So what I have for you is the operating funds, 101, 124, 131, and 207. There's a few things in the general fund that I'm still working with the department heads on. If you see something you have questions about, you're welcome to call me. This does include, by the way, the mandatory increases now. So the increases for the elected officials have already been figured in. And also the longevity increases have been figured in. So the mandatory increases have already been figured.
Do we need to approve these?
I don't think there's anything you necessarily need to do.
Accept it, right?
That's
Yeah.
it. Just accept it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I say, I'm still working on a couple. There was one, as I was going through, I know I've still got to do some work on it, so.
And just, and to add to this, this was to be for you to look at over the next week. And then, of course, the Tuesday and Wednesday after the county commission meeting, we'll hear half of the budget needs one night, half the other night, starting at 5 o'clock. And we'll set those up at 17th and 18th. And Director Luttrell?
Yes, sir.
Or will you be ready to present? And I talked to Michael earlier.
23rd.
23rd, yes, sir.
We'll be good.
So we'll hear that then. And then the tentative time to look at grants, needs list with work is the 31st. And Aaron will let us know if he's ready for that one or not at that time. But if they are, we'll be able to do that and work our process. But that's the calendar set as it is today, and we'll work our way through it.
The last thing that I have, it's the Westlaw thing in here, which is an Attorney General's opinion, and I'll explain why I would have something like that in there in a minute. Wesley Robertson with CTAS, some of you may know, some of you don't, came to me a few months ago and said, when a census passes, there are rules on elected officials. This Attorney General's opinion specifically addresses judges. But according to the auditors, this applies to all our elected officials. I had a discussion with them today. So if you look down at item number 3 there, it says any increase in compensation due to reclassification based upon the results of the 2000 census, of course in our case it's the 2020 census, would take effect as of the effective date of the census or April 1, 2000. In our case, it would be April 1, 2020. Should be noted, however, that while such increase would have taken effect as of April 1 of 2000, no county would have the authority to actually pay such increase in salary until the results of the 2000 census are certified. In our case, the 2020. Thus, any pay increases would need to be retroactive to April 1st, 2000, or in our case, 2020. So what the auditors are telling me is all elected officials have to be back paid now based on the census to April 1, 2020. So,
20 or
That's a
22?
chunk.
well, well, the census was for 20, so I'll be sure we square the date away, whether they're talking about 21, because the date that the 20 census was certified, I believe, was April of 21. So I think that's probably the date. I'll get that verified. And I'll have to bring a budget amendment to take care of that, because obviously we didn't plan to pay, back pay.
That's a chunk of change.
So who told you this?
The auditors today. Wesley Robertson first, and then the auditors today. And when I was talking to the auditors today, I was making the point that as far as I was aware, it was at our discretion whether we would do the back pay or not. And they told me it was not at our discretion.
So this would come out as a general fund?
Mhm. They also told me that it would affect the ARP dollars. In other words,
More.
right, because the circuit court clerk and the chancery court clerk have to make 10% more than the other officials. So now their number has to go up by 10%, which means the road superintendent has to go up by, which means.
Domino, upwards.
So this would be a one-time effect, though, because the salaries adjustments have already been made this
Correct.
coming budget.
This is just a one-time adjustment to take it back to the date of the certification of the census.
Okay. All right.
Eric, okay.
Yes.
What did we go from and to as far as our accounts last
Chunk of change.
I can't give you a classification in terms of number. I can tell you went from a population of about 114,000 in 2010 to a population of 147,000 and change in 2020.
Okay, they have thresholds that goes above a certain thing?
Yeah, so we almost crossed two. We almost crossed
Two classes?
two classifications.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah.
That schedule is posted online. If you want
Is
to
it?
It is.
It's, yes.
Yeah. 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 In fact. Yeah, of course, at 150,000, we would have crossed over into the next one. So,
Sorry, man. Sorry.
I know it. Story of my life.
and that's all I've got. So I'll
That's
get
enough.
you. Yeah, I'll get you a budget amendment for this.
Okay, ready for amendments?
Why not?
The first one is again a correction in longevity in the ag center. We had a few of those this year where longevity was not figured correctly.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve Ag Center amendment. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Second one is we are out of money in pauper burials. We have one that we know of that needs to be taken care of, and so at $400 a piece, I just stuck a couple of more out here just in case we have any more before the end of the
Motion to
year.
approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. Any questions? Ma'am?
Is everybody still, checking to be sure that people who apply for the pauper's burials are indeed indigent and not, property owners? Because I had that happen a couple of times. The
Absolutely.
came to me and wanted me to sign for pauper's burials, and I said, I know they own property in Wilson County.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, every
Yeah.
time I sign a pauper's burial, I make sure they put their address so that they can look them up and make sure.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I think we're still good, Miss Sarah.
okay, thank you.
All in favor say aye.
The next one is Trustees Commission, and we talked last month, we'd already received all the property tax that we had budgeted to receive for this year, so obviously that means the Trustees Commission is higher. This covers every fund. So it also, you'll see 121 and 152, which are the sales tax funds, and those are up as well. So this is basically the additional Trustees Commission for the additional revenue.
Good thing.
Yes.
motion to approve. Second.
And a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
The next one is PEG Channel moving money from advertising into communications and maintenance and repair. She's got an explanation down there that I know we talked about when she brought it, but basically she's not asking for any new money. She's just moving money to cover basically a communications bill.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve PEG Channel. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And I was going to let Steven take the next one. I think he's here.
It's up too long.
It happens.
You need a copy?
Yeah, I don't have one.
Okay.
I know. Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
sir.
I know
Whenever you're
I'm,
ready.
I'm moving some money around just to kind of tie up some loose ends, but I'm not really. I'll get to what I'm asking for here in a second. I was gonna. Who all needs a copy of this?
That one.
Yeah, I got something here for. This is what I'll get. But basically, what I'm gonna. What I'm moving money around to do is
It's on there.
just pay, when we're short some. I have the money in our budget to cover it. I'm just trying to, put it in the right line item. And one of the big things I was going to do is move some to take care of. I have some. I don't have a line item for vehicles, and so what I do over the years, all my vehicles were 2008s with 100,000 miles on them, and a few of them stay in the shop quite often. So what I did back in 2019 is I took the money that was in my budget and just kind of moved it around and purchased a vehicle on my own just to take care of our needs. But then 2020 happened, and I didn't really have the money to do it until now. And we kind of watched, kind of some things happened that we didn't really have to have the money for, and I kind of saved up, some money there to be able to purchase 3 vehicles. And so that's why I was moving the money around, so I could do that. And then I would just surplus the ones that are no longer worth keeping up. So that was the big thing I was moving the money around for.
Well, question. $58,000 for a vehicle?
3.
3. That's, you got A in here, I wanna make sure.
Yes, ma'am. I believe it was around 19,000 a piece, something like that.
The other big item on there, I don't know if Stephen mentioned it or not, but that part of the handout that he gave you was for the assessment personnel. That's the other
Is that
big addition.
This one right here.
Actually, we have it here unless you mean for it to be on your needs list. We have it included in your moving.
Oh, that's for the needs? I am gonna ask for.
If it's for needs, I'll cross it off here. So basically the needs, because LeBron, you must have misunderstood.
No, she's right.
Okay.
That's going to be my needs. I was going to ask for a full-time in my needs, along with the gas was going to be from 7,500, I think, to 10,000. But that was the only 2 needs I had for the needs.
So do we need to reduce this now?
Well, that's what I'm
Take
trying.
that
That's what I'm
employee
trying to
out?
figure out myself. Is we put on here an additional $37,796 in assessment personnel plus benefits,
Right.
basically. So should that portion right there be coming on your needs list?
Well, here's where probably the confusion is. I was going to originally asking for 2 people on the needs list and move the money around for the gas. But what I was coming here tonight for, I was going to ask 1 person on the needs list and the gas, and then tonight I was going to see if I could go ahead and try to get 1 of those people instead of waiting on the needs list.
Okay, so the
Yep.
1 person you're asking for tonight is what's on here.
Yes. And that's what I passed around. And the reason I'm asking tonight is because, and if it can wait, it can wait. It's fine. But the second page here, the assessor property, there's a state law that says I have to have a minimum of deputy assessors per 1 deputy assessor per 4,500 parcels in Wilson County. And we're at 16 right now. Deputy assessors, and I printed out an assessment summary this morning, and I'm at 70,285. So what I did is like every year I figure out how many we grow, and it's over 2,000. So I'm gonna be past the 72,000 within what I'm supposed to have minimum of deputy assessors. So I was gonna go ahead and ask for one because the lady who I have in mind is, she worked for me before, left, wants to come back, so there's no training involved. She could start tomorrow. Plus, she does the county board stuff, which we're about to do in June, the appeals, property tax appeals. And I also have a lady in my office who's about to give birth to a child, so I'm going to be down one. For I don't know, she may or may not come back. I don't know. So I'm going to be kind of short-handed for a while. And this employee that hopefully I get, she's ready to go and can help out immediately. But if not, then it'll be after the county board, which is in June. So that's why I'm in a bind. But we're not past the 72,000 yet, so we don't have to do anything. But I'm going to be soon. So I'd rather get on the front end rather than the back end. So that's why I was bringing it up.
Aaron, is there funds in this budget to do this at this point in time?
What we're asking, or what's being asked for here, is $56,854 out of fund balance is what's being asked for, and I would say that would be to fund that position. I didn't add all these numbers up here on the right side from 37 down, but I would say that it's all new money that's being asked for to fund that position. So it would be something really that would come sort of like we did with WEMA. It would come off the top of the needs. It would come off the top for growth if you put on a position right now.
So should really this be on the needs list or now?
Again, that's up to you guys, but, are you going to get, I'd say if he's got somebody out on maternity leave or whatever the situation is, it's up to, he would have to tell you whether or not, it would be a hardship to be short one assessor if that's what turns out to be the case.
Can I speak?
Sure.
Yes.
Well, with the county board equalization meetings the whole month of June, I'll have like 2 people up here plus me the whole time in this room right here for a solid month.
Mm-hmm.
So plus the lady downstairs will be out. So we'll be down 3 at least.
And needs list is May 31st, right? That's when we're going to hear needs list.
How many equalizations do you know that you may have that'll be in this room?
Well, they sign up in May. Last year, of course, was reappraisal, so it was every day from 8 till 3, 15 minutes at a time usually. It shouldn't be that busy this year, but I think there's people that appeal every year, and we'll go the whole month, maybe 5 or 6 cases a day until June the 1st to June 30th.
So I guess the question I got, so
Yes, sir.
is the extra person already in here right now?
No.
In the status quo budget here?
She's not. Oh, I'm sorry.
So who's this person here?
Is that the one we decided it's this one or the one I'm going to ask for in needs?
This is the one you're asking for right now.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's already in there, and it's a status quo budget, right?
It's not in there yet. It wouldn't be in there until you guys pass
That's
it.
what he just said.
As far as in the status
In
quo
other
budget.
words, we're creating a new position.
You're creating a new position.
For that.
A month ahead of time.
You are, but I thought, but that's not already in his budget, is what I guess I'm asking.
It can't be in the budget until you guys pass the amendment. Once you pass the amendment, then it can go into the status quo budget going forward.
Okay.
If you pass the amendment.
I'm sure you need the person very badly. I understand that, Stephen. But if we create a new position, everybody in this room knows we're over a barrel about taking care of our existing employees right now, and we're not sure how we're going to do that.
And I'm okay with that. That's why I'm here.
So I wish we could wait till we go through the needs assessments. Would be my recommendation.
I guess I'll just add one thing. I know how hard it is with this Board of Equalization stuff. We deal with that. And I know we did the reappraisal last time.
You're going to have some that's left over who didn't get to come or just didn't realize it now, and they're going to sign up. So you're going to have more than usual. It's not going to be a reappraisal year, but it's going to be more than a normal year.
And the lady that's on maternity leave any way to get a sub for her, or do we have money in there to do any of that?
I don't have any part-time money or anything like that. And she's not left yet, but
Yeah,
she's
but
going to.
she's yeah, I
Will
saw
she
her
leave
today.
before we can go through the budget?
It's a
She
baby.
said she's gonna stay until she's fixing to have the baby, so.
When is that supposed to be?
Whenever the baby wants to
Whenever the
come.
apple
I'm
gets
trying to- I was
ripe.
encouraging her, we don't want to have the baby at work, but she said she's gonna work until she can, so, I mean,
Well, let me ask this,
Yes,
is
sir.
there a possibility of putting the 3 vehicles on the needs list and go ahead and doing the person now?
Yep, it's more important.
that's fine, because the vehicles are already here that we're using today, I mean, and, you know, that's not the, you know, I won't be out anything, because they're still out there, they're just using the same ones I already have.
Aaron, could that be done?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we would move, I can get with Stephen, or if Stephen wants me to, we've got quite a bit of money, probably more than, well, it's about even.
About $2,000
Yeah,
difference.
it's about even, so yeah.
Or, can I make another suggestion?
Mm-hmm.
What if I just only got 2 vehicles instead of 3?
That's not gonna make a huge difference, will it?
No.
$20,000.
That's all.
And kick the vehicles to the needs list. Yeah. That way you can get your personnel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That would be better for me.
Yeah, that would.
Anybody want to put that in form of a motion?
Can I ask a question? Sheriff, can I ask?
Sure.
I know a couple of years ago, you came in, you needed more personnel because there's so much building going on that you couldn't cover all that, or the assessment or the appraisals. Is that still true? Is that why this is you need this person, or do you have enough to cover all those?
I can do as many as I could work all the time. But yes, I could. If you gave me 2 more, I would take them, and they would have
But
work
how
to
much
do.
money would that bring in as far as taxes? That's the key right there.
Well, you know, there is a tipping point where you're not getting the benefit of what you have, and it just depends on the economy. You know, if the building slows down. But ever since I've been there, it's not slowed down. And I was talking to some guys who've been there since 89, 95, and I was like, how we do this all the time? They said, well, it hasn't always been this way. You know, there's sometimes we didn't have houses to draw like we do, but we draw like 30 houses a day and put them on the tax roll.
And add to the tax money, right?
Well, sure. The more people, right now, the way the economy is, the more people I have, the more we would draw, the more money that would come in. But I don't know, you know, if there was a downturn or something like that, then you may have people that didn't have work to do. We have steady work right now with the people we have, and I'm only asking for what I need. I wouldn't ask for more than I need.
Right.
So.
And he did bring to me, you know, that's been, how long it's been ago, but
Yeah, I
he did-
remember that.
He brought to me the documents, I don't have them with me right now, that showed that the person we paid for and then the amount of money that we gained was a whole lot more in excess. And so, because we would have lost that money because we didn't have it on the rolls to get. So we don't get it until he gets them on there. So, so I do agree that, yeah, the more, I mean,
And
that's a good investment for us.
Well, I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, not a bigger office.
I have one more
Build the,
question, Mr. Marlowe.
Yes, sir.
The purchase of vehicles is a one-time purchase. Hiring an additional, creating an additional position is gonna be reoccurring. So we're really obligating money down the road. We're still going against, maybe what we can do for our employees, or existing employees, really.
Well, what it means, Commissioner, is that the money that is being moved out of these lines can't turn around and be moved back in. That's what it means.
In other words, you may have to go to walking. Is that what it means?
What it means is you're taking, so I'm looking down through what he's taking money out of. He's taking 12,000 and change out of office services, 10,000 out of communications, 18,000 out of data processing. If those are now, from now forward, going to pay for an employee, then that's 12,000 less you got in audit. Yep.
You good with that?
Yep.
Oh, he'll be back.
Well, but I just want to make sure everybody understands what we're doing if we do that. You good with that?
Ain't got much of a choice.
If I'm gonna be short the other stuff, then no, I'm not good with that.
Okay.
Because, I mean, this is just there's years I do need that, you know, and so.
I understand. I
this is
understand
just-
you need everything
It
you're
just
asking for.
it just
I'm not
happened to
saying
be
that-
where,
Timing.
yeah, we saved it, you know, it worked out, and I was like, okay, I can get a car with this, you know?
Right.
Because once our cars break down and stop,
You can't go
there's no
anywhere.
money getting on the tax roll, you know?
And you're thinking completely correctly, and so is Tommy. You're thinking, okay, I got this money left, and I don't really need it in this area right here. I can
Right.
go buy my 3 vehicles.
But
And
I may need it again, so.
Right. Well, your 3 vehicles are one time.
Yes.
So if you don't need this money this
So
year,
you
you
could
can go buy
purchase
your
the
vehicles. You're fine.
and it won't harm you in the future.
Right.
And
But
just
if,
move this to the needs list.
if you go hire a person, you need recurring money for that, not one time.
Well, here's the thing. Yes, I do need this person. I'm gonna be short. It's gonna be a struggle, and we'll make it. But I do need the cars, and I just hopefully we can get this later, the person later.
If it,
Is there any chance of you hiring any part-time personnel if you had the funds for it through this?
I'm not sure. I haven't really thought about that. I just,
Well, what about one of each? One vehicle and one person.
I think he inherited before he got here, when we bought all those vehicles on 8, and so they're all going off, and he's going to work on doing a rotation, so he don't have that problem anymore. That will definitely happen, but he inherited that, so, because they just bought them all at one time.
I
And
remember
then-
that.
And so, along with your thoughts, is there part-time money that
We could
this
probably
lady
find
can
some
work
money to
right
help
now
for some
until the
part-time.
needs list gets approved?
And she's supposed
That
to.
way you get her full, that you get her now to help you, and then if they approve the needs, that person on the needs list, then you get, she starts now, but then you get her later on too.
Do they all have to be new vehicles? Is there any other department that could have some vehicles? Just asking, they might break down the next day, but just trying to,
well, for me, the way I would look at it is you want your best vehicles out there to be reliable, to bring in all this money that y'all are spending, you know?
well,
That's the way I would view it. Because if we're
Spending
not
on
out
things
there
that are
and the
new.
vehicles are in the shop, there's no houses getting drawn or measured, and there's no tax money coming in.
My thought would be to go on and purchase the vehicles if you can somehow manage through budget time, and maybe we can get you the additional position.
because that's all, well, with all the money they're bringing in, right?
Well, that do bring us in a lot of money. We
Yeah, so
spend
then
it.
that would be able to help with the employee ease.
you know, we've talked about it a little bit. Y'all have heard some numbers thrown around. You know, we talked about, 4.8% growth, which I thought was maybe the biggest number, close to the biggest number I've seen. I think I've seen one over 5. And so I went down to get an updated number from Stephen's office. And now that number, I've looked at it, Michael's looked at it, there's a lady down his office that's looked at it, and now it's looking suspiciously like 6.7%.
And that's just what I tell them, I say, hey, you guys could be the heroes. You could get everybody this growth money, put in do your job, and they'll take care of you, and you want to keep them motivated. And then, but if you don't, like you're going to bat for them, they may just do the minimum and just kind of, who cares if they get the growth money or not? If we're not going to get it, So I tell them, we have meetings, and I tell them, you guys, we're going to be the best. We're gonna do this and do it above and beyond and bring in this money, and that's why everybody likes us and all these other departments. We try to get them at least that 1.5% raise because
Y'all are the breadwinners.
And it's not that we don't care. I
Well,
mean, we
but
got a
that's
whole
exactly
pie
my
chart to
thought,
deal with
Stephen,
too.
Is I want to take care of the employees you have right now.
Right.
Well, if it comes down to we go to hiring a bunch of additional employees this year across the county, we may not be able to do as much as far as existing employees. And I thought that was sort of the goal we were looking at this year. And I'm not saying we can't get you another position,
Yep.
but I'd love to take care of the ones you've got, and then we'll worry about hiring additional ones. Is that,
And I'm okay
does that
with-
sound good, or does that,
And I have enough vehicles now. I was just trying to switch out the ones that have kind of been problems for me. And like I bought that one myself that one year with the, and took care of us. And I can just do one again and just kind of limp by until next year, and maybe I'll have some more money. If, because I mean, I'm pretty good at watching.
But you have the money now for the 3,
Yeah.
correct? I mean, we're not really saying don't purchase the vehicles, but if we create a new position, we have to keep funding it, and that may keep us from being able to do as much for the existing employees, is what I'm saying. Is that right, Mary?
Well, and I think the only thing that puts us in a bind here is the person going on maternity leave and the Board of
That's what I was
Equalization.
asking about, maybe some
His,
part-time
yeah,
help.
his timing is that's the crucial part on the investment of that money. I mean, if there's a way to do some part-time to get him through that piece, that would be good. And then the one-time money, as you're saying, that's, it's not a problem. It's a reoccurring, and then you'd have to ask for that extra person or whatever in the needs list, because you were going to ask for 2 on the needs list, right?
I would just ask for one then if that happened.
So you'd have the one for the part-time, but we'd want to fill them both, wouldn't we?
I would if if y'all give them to me, yeah, I'll take them.
Take
I mean,
5
but
and give it to
But
him.
that's what you were wanting, though, I thought.
Originally, yes, sir.
Yeah, and you need somebody now.
Yes,
You
sir.
need somebody now.
Yeah, so that's where I think the part-time could get you that now, and the needs list could get you the 1 or 2, which I thought it was 2.
It's
It needs time.
yes, sir. I'm fine with whatever y'all do. Whatever y'all decide's fine with me.
No.
I just hate to see him without the personnel to survive with her going on maternity
Well,
leave
I
and
understand
the
that.
Board of Equalization
But
hitting.
if creating an additional position is gonna last a lot longer than this short-term crisis, as far as, you know what I'm trying to
Sure.
say. I wanna take care of the existing employees the best we can,
Oh, yeah.
and then hire more.
But do you think this reoccurring position would pay for itself?
I'm not smart enough to answer that question. I wish you could tell me it would.
I say it would.
It will.
They all do.
A while ago, when you were asked that question, you didn't come out with a definite yes.
I don't ever ask them. But yeah, they do.
They do. They do.
I have a question. On the money that you were gonna use for the vehicles from these other data process, is that the money you were gonna turn back to the county if you didn't get that? I mean, turn back to the budget? You're not gonna spend that money, is that correct?
No, nope. I didn't have it to spend on anything. The things we needed were good enough, and we didn't have to spend that money.
That's what I mean, you didn't have to spend the money. So you're gonna turn it back to the general fund?
I was going
And
to.
you were gonna use
If I didn't-
that
if
for
I need the vehicles.
So what we're saying is, if you move it for the vehicles, then you wouldn't have it next year, is that correct?
No,
No.
no, if he moves it for the vehicles, that's a one-time expenditure. It's over. Those lines can go back to where.
Oh, they go back on the, okay.
Because, that's fine. And the problem is if you try to take this money and fund the position.
Right, I
But you
understand
want,
that.
then you want to put the money into the, you've doubled it.
Right.
That's what I don't.
Gotcha, I understand.
Yeah.
We're just talking about the months of May and June, really. But it's the hardest 60 days you have.
It is.
You can come up here and sit up here when you want to.
I guess you can train us.
Maybe you can get the boss to send me over. It'd be cooler in your office.
We'll get by either way. I mean,
I
we're
know,
gonna
but I
survive.
mean, no.
Do we know what the part-time money would be
That's right.
for 2 months?
I don't, but, we'll find out real quick. What do you pay a part-time person an hour? Okay.
Do you think you could hire somebody is the main question.
Yeah, he's got
I
one
think- I
waiting in
think
the
this
wings.
person-
No, I'm talking about part-time.
Well,
Yeah.
I think if knowing that it eventually turn into full-time, I think yes.
The former employee.
I have a good relationship with her, and like I said, she can start. I know there's no
Would she be
training at
willing
all.
to take it part-time
I think
until
so.
budget time, and
I
then if
think
we,
so. She's.
well, why couldn't we offer something like that? That would solve the problem.
That's what we
I'm good with that. If y'all vote on that.
I mean,
You
we
just
can do
need to
that.
tell us how much
2
money
months.
you need.
2 months, yeah, and then we'll address it, and I'm sure he will have the conversation with her that, hey, this is temporary till the needs list happens, but she could start tomorrow, and he would have what he needs, take care of him for the
What
Board
would
of
be
Equalization.
what would be an estimated amount?
I was gonna ask Stephen, I 5,000 for 2 months.
That's fine.
Well, I mean,
You'll
what
take
do you need
whatever.
to, I mean, if you work her 29 hours, which is as much as you can work her without her being full-time, it is, and because I don't know the hourly rate, is 5,000 gonna cover it? As far as the wages part, I'll figure the social security and all that stuff.
What's part? Oh, so, I really hate to say anything in here because I don't know what pay you have to look at it.
Yeah.
20. Yeah.
Evidently, they can't.
He needs to say, so.
$20 an hour. Is that what they make? And then the firefighters only make
A lot less than
Hey,
that.
let them get their numbers together. We'll hold this off and meet again on the 16th.
I don't know. I don't know what
What's
the
that?
part-time rate is.
Be close to 6,000, wouldn't it?
Can I offer a suggestion or a motion?
We don't pay benefits on part-time.
Yeah.
We do.
Well, I mean, not
You have to pay social security,
Social
Medicare,
Security and
retirement.
stuff.
That's all. I mean, know that.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
What
Yeah.
if we hold off on this and let him figure out what he needs money-wise, or Aaron to figure out what's gonna cost him, and we deal with this one right before the commission meeting? If we just pull this one out right now. Does that satisfy anybody?
Yeah.
Does that help?
I'm gonna go back to my original thing I said just a minute though. I think 5,000 as far as the wages part will cover it, and then I can figure the benefits on it if you want to do it. But if you want to defer it, you can defer it. But
Why can we not say up to a certain number
You could.
in the
Mhm.
motion?
You could.
Okay, I'll make that motion up to $7,000.
Okay. And I will figure the benefits and get Danielle a corrected copy in the morning.
Thank you, sir.
second.
There you go.
We have a motion and a second.
Repeat the motion.
Okay, we're purchasing 3 vehicles and we're making funds available for a part-time person up to $7,000. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Man, next.
Are we going to approve his needs
I appreciate
list
all y'all
tonight?
working through
Do
that.
what?
Are we gonna approve
He's
his
gotta
needs
answer
list
by
tonight? I know we
alphabet.
brought it. Or is he waiting on that? He brought
When
it.
we ready.
If we're not, that's fine. I just wanted to
Okay.
double check.
Every time you put somebody. on,
Aaron, do we need to approve his needs list?
It's not-
No, it's not really time for his needs
That's
list.
Jacob's job.
Weema.
Yeah, the next one, we were doing a review of lines that, we might need to make budget amendments on, and we came across this one, and we thought at first it might be overtime, but it just looks like they didn't put enough money in the budget for it. So it's basically to cover, mechanic, 3,223 is what's needed to make the budget come out right for his annual salary.
In other words, we owe this money.
We do.
Motion to
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Any opposed?
Veterans are asking for money out of their reserve account to cover engraving on the walls over there.
I thought y'all were paying for that. Okay. Motion to approve.
And this is coming out of what?
Their reserve.
Reserve.
Their money. I have a motion. Is there a second?
second.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed?
And Michael, it's all you.
With the teeny tiny numbers.
You got them?
We got 2 budget amendments. The first one does several things for us. I'll run through those real quick. But they moved some lines for our Del Tech grant. It adds an additional position to bring our substitute teachers back in-house. It allocates money for additional science curriculum for a 3rd year. It also corrects a teacher line item for us that was budgeted in the wrong account. And it funds several line items that were projected to be over within the year, those mainly being substitute teachers, natural gas, our Trustees Commission, which I think Aaron brought up a member for his. So Any questions on that one?
Motion to approve it?
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve 2022-10. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And then our next one is for our summer camp budget. All of that money is directly from the state. The state also approves that budget. It's essentially extends our school year till July 1 for summer camp. So it covers everything from fuel to food to the teachers, and those are existing employees. That question was asked at education, so those are existing employees.
It was already approved in education. Motion?
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve 2022-11. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mhm.
Oh, gosh, the next one in there is the grant. I was working so much on budget today that I forgot to flip over and refresh my memory on this grant. So Tommy can start crucifying me now.
Well, it ought to be easy. It's mental health, so most of us can kind of understand
Yes.
mental health issues in
Yeah.
this county.
Yeah.
That's Tommy too.
Let's see.
So this is a grant. It's not, as long as it's not a matching
There's no
grant.
match. It's
We
all-
should be just fine with it.
Take
I
the
mean,
money.
We can use all the mental health in Wilson County that we can get.
Yeah, there's no match.
That's about, I make the motion that we.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the
Tommy fund.
grant contract. Any questions or concerns? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
The next thing in there is the bids that came in for the sale of the old election commission building.
We had 5 bids there, highest bid being $855. That's my recollection. The appraisal was $850. So we have the option either to accept any of these bids or reject them all and think about it a little bit longer. So
I'd move we reject all of them.
I'd make a motion, we think about it a little longer.
Well, alrighty then.
And we have a motion and a second to,
Came in cash. Some cash in.
$2.
yeah,
I know that there was one gentleman that called me, and I think it was Mr. John Fouch that wanted to kind of discuss what he was going to do with the building. I don't know if the chairperson will allow that or not, but
But now, we're talking about these bids. You're talking about somebody wants to make a bid.
No,
he
he's in
wanted to
here.
discuss what he wanted to do
Oh,
with the
okay.
building. But if you've already said, you know, think about it some more, then there it is.
okay, we have a motion and a second to table this, or not table, but
you would
reject.
reject all bids, and we'll notify the people tomorrow and let them know that if that's what your wishes are.
Okay. Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
The HGAC buy co-op thing, it says pending audit, pending or after discussion with audit this afternoon. I'm pulling this for the time being. It may come back, it may not.
Whoa, going in at you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
And then the last thing is just minutes of the Public Records Commission.
Make a motion to approve this. We've already met and talked about it. They wasn't asking for anything, just
Answer some questions for me then.
Have a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
Questions for me. So moved.
Okay,
Got a motion.
all in favor say aye. Any- Okay, I have one other thing. Animal Control met this evening and was asking to move $3,000 within their budget to fuel.
yeah. Motion.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, Mayor?
One thing I got would be to on the pay plan that was presented the other night. Several had said they'd love for him to come back and do some more discussion with him and more details of that, just so they can absorb it a little bit more. And so I'm willing to do that if that's what this committee would want me to do. We'll set up some meetings, maybe in smaller groups so people can digest it a little bit easier, ask all the questions. He said he would come as many times as we needed him. So if that's what you'd like to do, we can do that, or...
I want the lady.
No, yeah, we'll get
Dumb
both.
it down some?
Do what now?
Can you dumb it down some?
Yes. I think the thing would be,
It was out
yeah,
there.
it takes a lot to really, to try to comprehend it. And so, you know, and I think smaller groups, people can just ask questions like they want to ask them, and we'll do whatever we need to break it down.
I mean, no offense to him, but I think his assistant was a better,
That's what I said. I want
more
a lady.
informational. I mean, you know, I'm just saying what everybody else is saying, but,
Sure.
you know, I think his assistant was a little bit more in tune to where we were trying to get to. So if, I mean, I'm
We're
not
good.
telling him what to do, but she'd be good to present.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll make that happen.
Okay,
If that's what you want to do, I mean, first time.
Yeah, that'd be fine with me.
yes,
We need
very
it.
much so.
Okay, we can do that. We'll get it set up. I'll talk with Mike and find out exactly how we can break that down and how everybody that wants to meet in small groups can do that without breaking any rules or whatever. And we'll take that and we'll get it scheduled.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other business? Yes, sir.
I'd like to ask about the ARP funds.
Yes, sir.
With what we have on hand, we have some things we had talked about for the county, actually, courthouse here, and I think the road commission. Do we need to discuss those to come out of the funds we have on hand right now? Before we talk about what we're gonna do with the second round? Because we have the money to do some more on hand, right?
We do. We don't know exactly how much, you know, we don't know exactly how much the broadband portion is going to take. I do recall Commissioner Walker, I believe, telling me that one of them had been reduced substantially. One of the, yeah. I don't know about the other two.
There
Commissioner
was,
Franklin.
but there was a maximum on that, wasn't there, Bob?
Yeah.
So we know what,
Maximum, but you're not gonna hit that.
well, that's what I'm saying, but
No.
we know what it could be, but it probably won't, but we still have quite a bit between that cap and what we have on hand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we could go on and talk about putting the heat and air system in the courthouse.
Did we do that through Public Works though? And we said we'd come back, regroup, didn't we?
That's,
Isn't that what we did? When we had
I'm not
utilities.
prepared- Yeah, I'm not prepared to answer that. but-
Well, I'm not talking about when we actually vote on it tonight,
Yeah,
but
but-
should we look at those things first?
What my hopes were is because with the utility group,
Yeah.
there's another pot of money out there that, with our money, we could match with it. The utility companies would apply for that through us, but our money would become kind of like matching, so they get twice as much done.
Mhm.
That's about 4.5 million, I think, is there. So I just kind of want to bring that back and lay it all on the table at one time, and then let you pick and choose what you want. And I figure you're probably going to also tell me, hey, let's get these utility companies back in, because I want to know exactly what roads that's going to be, and let them come in and just give you a full detail, because it was a lot to grasp, as you said to me that first time. So I'll bring it all back to you, lay it all out here. Aaron knows kind of what the bottom line is right now, and with that, I thought you could go ahead and anticipate that other money coming, 14 million, and then, but we won't obligate it. I mean, we can obligate it, but we won't do anything with it until we actually get the money in the bank in June. Yeah, but that's what I was going to try. I just had not had a chance to sit down and,
I understand.
because we had several people that brought stuff, and some of that stuff you may say, we don't want to do that,
Well,
or
that's
you may
what-
say you don't qualify.
But I still, I was kind of under the impression, like, what we want to do actually for the courthouse
Yeah.
or for different departments, or whatever we're going to do for the county itself. Look like we ought to discuss those before we talk about the other ones.
Yeah, and I'll bring them back in that stack and have that stack first, and if we don't get to the other ones, we don't get to the other ones. Start out with that group, that's what I hear you asking.
That'd be fine.
Yeah, do that first. Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, Aaron, do you have any information on the broadband, who was approved and who was not?
As far as I'm aware, sir, nobody's been approved yet for the
Okay.
group that went for us. One of their proposals was cut.
Reduced
Was reduced.
significantly, and we only said we're going 10%.
That's right. We offered all of them a 10% match, knowing that all three of them weren't gonna get approved. So, but, you know, we don't have any way,
So it'd
it could be none of them.
lower than we thought it was gonna be this much, it'd be significant.
Yeah, it was sort of a cap. It was gonna be at most,
Right.
and y'all forgive me if the number that I throw out here is, it was at the most like 1.7 million.
Right,
something
I
like
think
that.
that's correct.
The most, that's too
More than
high.
that, wasn't it?
2.3 or
Okay.
2.5.
We come up like 2.3 and then we raised.
No, it's more than that. It's
2.7
for one.
1.7 for one of them.
But, because
Okay.
it was 17 million.
I knew I had
They
1.7
went
in my
down
head.
considerably
Yeah,
if they got in.
yeah.
Anything else needs to come before the committee? Anybody out there have anything they want to say? All right, one other motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Well, now that we're on adjourn, I'd like to congratulate our mayor in his successful win since we've been